Welcome to Accreditation Unlocked, the podcast that helps you navigate the complex world of accreditation with clarity, confidence, and purpose. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Clow, and whether you're a faculty member, administrator, or accreditation liaison, this podcast is your go-to resource for demystifying the accreditation process and building stronger institutions. Today's episode tackles a big topic: why institutions struggle with accreditation and how to overcome it. Let's face it, accreditation isn't easy. It's high stakes, high pressure, and constantly evolving. Yes, it's essential for maintaining quality, securing funding, and earning the trust of students, employers, and the broader public. So why do so many institutions still stumble along the way? Well, that's what we're going to explore here. I'll walk you through the 6 common reasons institutions struggle with accreditation, and most importantly, what you can do about it. Challenge number 1, the lack of understanding of accreditation standards. Let's begin with a fundamental issue. Many institutions don't fully understand what accreditation standards actually require. Here's what I mean. Accrediting agencies, institutional and programmatic, do provide detailed guidelines, but those guidelines can be overwhelming or misinterpreted. Institutions might assume their existing policies are good enough without taking the time to critically evaluate how well those policies align with current standards. And then the standards change. Agencies revise expectations based on shifts in higher education, technology, student outcomes, assessment, practices, you name it. If institutions don't keep pace, they fall behind, and it shows during a site visit. I once worked with a college that was confident that their faculty evaluation process met accreditation standards. But when we dug in, the faculty evaluation process had not been updated in over a decade, and it didn't include any assessment of student learning outcomes. That's a red flag for accreditors. The solution? Make accreditation literacy part of your institutional DNA. Offer professional development sessions. Send key staff to accreditation conferences. Create a culture where reading and discussing accreditation standards is as common as reading new research in your field. And don't underestimate the value of reviewing successful self-study reports from peer institutions. It can offer tremendous insight. Challenge number 2. Inadequate training and institutional support. Accreditation can't rest on one person's shoulders. Not the provost, not the institutional researchers, and not the lone accreditation person in the corner office. But that's exactly what happens at many institutions. Faculty are asked to contribute to self-studies or assessment reporting with little or no training. Staff may be responsible for gathering data without knowing why it matters. And leadership might be focused elsewhere, treating accreditation as a compliance task rather than as a strategic opportunity. Accreditation is a team sport. If your team doesn't know the rules, or even that there is a game going on, you're going to lose. The solution? Create structured, recurring training programs for faculty, staff, and administrators. Break down the accreditation process into understandable parts: data collection, assessment, strategic planning, curriculum mapping, and assign responsibilities clearly. Consider forming an accreditation steering committee or a task force with cross-campus representation. That shared ownership makes a huge difference when crunch time comes. Challenge number 3. Poor documentation and record keeping. Yes, documentation. The word that sends shivers down the spine of even most seasoned professionals. But let's be clear, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. Accreditation is evidence-based. Reviewers want to see how you assessed student learning, improved programs, responded to feedback, supported faculty, and advanced your mission. They want receipts, not just anecdotal ones. A common pitfall. Departments keep their own records in spreadsheets, emails, or hard drives. Then, When the accreditation cycles begin, there's a scramble to find things, and half of it is missing. The solution? Establish a centralized digital documentation system. This doesn't need to be expensive. A shared drive with naming conventions and version control is a solid start. More advanced institutions use document management systems that track revisions, approvals, and access. Make it someone's job to maintain this repository and back it up often. Also, encourage faculty and departments to document as they go. Waiting to the last minute to gather documentation is like trying to write a term paper the night before it's due. You can do it, but it won't be your best work. Challenge number 4. Resistance to change and continuous improvement. Now this one might hit close to home. Accreditation is more than meeting minimum standards. It's about continuous improvement, using assessment data to enhance programs, improve outcomes, and better serve students. But not every institution embraces this mindset. Some see accreditation as an occasional nuisance, something to get through every few years. That attitude breeds resistance. A culture check. If your institution says it values data, but doesn't use it to inform decisions, or if the last curriculum review was 5 years ago, you may be stuck in a compliance rut instead of a growth mindset. The solution? Embed continuous improvement into your institutional culture. Schedule regular assessment reviews. Include accreditation goals in your strategic planning. Encourage open dialogue about what's working and what's not. Leadership must model this by using data in decision-making and celebrating meaningful changes. When faculty and staff see that accreditation drives positive change, not just red tape, they'll be more likely to engage. Challenge number 5. Limited resources and budget constraints. Let's talk reality. Many institutions, especially small colleges and under-resourced programs, don't just have the budget for full-time accreditation teams or high-end assessment platforms. That doesn't mean they can't succeed, but it does mean they need to be strategic and creative. What often happens? The same person responsible for teaching 4 courses and advising 40 students is now expected to lead accreditation reporting, attend all the meetings, and update assessment plans. Burnout is inevitable. The solution? First, explore outsourcing. There are experienced accreditation consultants, like those at the Accreditation Collaborative, who can help lighten the load and bring expertise to the table. Second, make the most of open access tools and templates from accrediting bodies and peer institutions. And third, look for grant funding tied to assessment and quality improvement. Accrediting agencies often reward innovation and transparency, even when resources are limited. Challenge number 6. High turnover among leadership and staff. Finally, turnover. When key leaders and staff members leave, they often take years of institutional knowledge with them. This is one of the most underappreciated threats to accreditation success. The impact? Without proper documentation and transition planning, new leaders walk into a mess. Accreditation timelines are missed, reports are inconsistent, and institutional memory disappears. The solution? Start by building redundancy into your accreditation infrastructure. Don't let one person hold all the keys. Share responsibilities, documentation workflows, and develop a formal transition plan. Create onboarding resources for new leaders that include accreditation history, current action plans, and future goals. And remember, accreditation isn't just a technical task, it is a legacy. Treat it like one. In conclusion, accreditation is challenging, but it's also an opportunity. An opportunity to reflect, improve, and align your institution with its mission and values. If your institution is facing any of these challenges, misunderstanding standards, lack of training, poor documentation, resistance to change, limited resources, or high turnover, know that you're not alone. And you don't have to go it alone. The Accreditation Collaborative offers expert guidance, professional development workshops, and strategic planning assistance tailored to your needs. Whether you're preparing for a self-study, responding to a recommendation, or just trying to get organized, we're here to help. Thank you for listening to this episode of Accreditation Unlocked. Be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this podcast with your colleagues and friends in higher education. I'm Dr. Ken Clow, and until next time, keep learning, keep improving, and keep unlocking the power of accreditation.